Okay, so my first speak is divided into 2 main sections. I'll try to get to the second one if I can, but if not, this is not the last more interesting part because the first one's really boring. So, be mindful. I'm first going to try to talk about freedom, happiness, and the greater good or the common good or whatever you guys want to call it, because seriously, everyone has different definitions. But first, I'm going to try to provide my own definition for them because one of the major conflicts of that because everyone has different definitions: freedom, happiness, and the greater good. Okay, freedom. I want ability to choose for oneself whatever it is that curtails. Happiness is an emotional and highly subjective state. I can come up with a definition. You guys really can't either. And the greatest good are the conditions that lead to the most benefits to the greatest number of people. Again, it's really ambiguous, but you can come up with a definition for something like that. And my opinion is that the greatest good, large groups of people, like societies and civilizations, is in conflict with happiness and freedom. They don't go together, which is why I don't believe we should be in societies. Okay, for the most part, I think you guys all agree that if you're free, you're happy. Like, people think that freedom begets happiness. This is usually not the case. Pause for synapse. No, that's at least not always. Okay, when it does, it usually infringes upon the greater good because all 3 things, like sort of balance side, if you have 2 of them, you can't have the 3rd one. And that is what my PubSpeak is about. You cannot have the greatest good, happiness, and freedom. Okay, first I'm gonna start off with different types of governments and show you guys how, well, at least 2 of them might be satisfied, the 3rd one is lacking. So the first one is totalitarianism. Totalitarian governments tend to be better for the greatest amount of good, although they make people unhappy. I think we can all agree that you can take some dictator and they'll probably give you good job stability. Well, in most communist cases, they give you good job stability, they'll provide for you. Most of the time they'll give you healthcare and stuff that people in capitalist total countries do not get. But who's happy with a dictator? Unless you're the dictator, you're probably not happy. So, and you're also not free. So this, the greatest good, but freedom is low, happiness is low. Anarchy provides total true freedom. I think we can all agree with that. Anarchy, you're completely free to do whatever you want. But it does nothing in the way of common good or happiness. With an anarchical society, you wouldn't have Medicare, you wouldn't have welfare, you would not have anything that supports the greatest good. And you're probably not going to be happy because with anarchy, you get what are called warlords. People making their own little tribes and private armies and abusing other people. So there's also not happiness. You get freedom, but happiness is low, greatest good is low. And anarcho-capitalism, do you guys know what that is? Okay, it's this really idiotic theoretical system that calls for a capitalist society that is totally anarchist. So there's no government, but you still have all the private securities. You still have all large companies just running, and they just interact with the consumers. That'll be the masses. There's just no government. I know, it's ridiculous.
Roads? Water?
No, like, those things will still be provided for. But you just like interact with the companies directly, and there's no government or no laws to ensure that you get good service, so that if you pay them,
Murder?
there's no laws to say that murder is wrong. You can kill somebody, and that's just it. Unless they have private security that can kill you back. Yeah, that's not too. So that will provide happiness to an extent, unless you get worse, because you still keep your civilization. And most people here, I don't think any of you would be happy if you didn't have electricity, you didn't have any form of society, you didn't have cars, you didn't have MP3 players, you didn't have anything. If you're truly destitute, I don't think many of you will be happy, and that's just the way the world runs nowadays. So with anarcho-capitalism, well, you do get to keep civilization, which means you get to be happy, and you technically get the freedom. There's no common good. There's only people going out for themselves. So freedom, happiness, no common good. And theocracies, which are religion-run systems. They would make everyone that is in it happy, since they're probably adherents of the religion. And I don't know about you guys, if I was starting a religion and that religion dictated my whole world, I'd probably be happy. But there's no freedom. They have all the rules, all the dictates, all the commandments that limit freedom. And there's actually not common good because, well, most religions claim to be socialist and stuff, or they don't say socialist, but charitable and stuff. You see, just looking at India, the Hindu system, they have a caste system that oppresses over 80% of the population. Most of them are starving in extremely destitute conditions. So you might get happiness if you are a masochist. You won't have freedom, and you have no common good. And moving on to whatever this is, I call it capitalist, but we're not that capitalist in my opinion. So we have liberals versus conservatives. That's the two-party system. Even though liberals are not liberals, conservatives are not conservatives, but that's something else. Okay, for the gun control debate, I think you're familiar with that, or issue, whether or not. Republicans, want freedom because they think that they can provide their own safety with guns, and because they don't think the guns provide them safety. So, for freedom to get happiness, but no common good, because they want everyone to have guns, and I don't think that's good. Overall, I just don't think it's a good idea. On the other hand, Democrats believe more in the common good, but by taking away your freedom. If you guys made the Democrats what? Excuse me, big government, freedom, they don't go together. Then you have just laws, there are three types of laws I'm going to go over. One, laws like those going against illegal racketeering and 18th Amendment when it was passed, and the Bolshevik Act, which actually made the sale and consumption of alcohol illegal. They make some people happy because a lot of people advocated for it, but make some people sad. So I'm just going to note happiness, but I don't have freedom and common good. If you ban alcohol, that's probably better for the common good, but it goes against the freedom. Again, there's nothing going for all three. On the other hand, laws that prevent prostitution and marijuana and other things that are what I call extended morality, which are morals outside of the practical realm, like killing and theft. Those are most of them all agree, but prostitution and marijuana are just morals that are more dependent on the culture, because seriously, it's not a problem. But okay, they make some people happy and a lot of people sad, but they limit the freedom and the common good. Because you get drug wars. Like Ian has been talking a lot about how marijuana has pretty much destroyed South America. And it is true. And finally, you get laws concerning practical morality, like those preventing people from stealing or killing, which you can all agree might not be from absolute morals, but it's practical to have legislated such things. Those benefit the common good and do make people happy because you don't want your neighbor to kill you, hopefully. But they go against liberty. They go against freedom. So again, those two things, while we all want them, you can never get all three of them.